What did your parents say to you that still affects you today? My dad was one of those high-powered lawyers who treated everything like a courtroom. Every conversation, every dinner, every parenting moment was a performance. He made six figures, wore suits that cost more than most people's rent, and had this saying he repeated like it was scripture: second place is just first loser. I was 7 the first time he said it. I'd come home from school practically floating because I'd just won second place in the spelling bee. I was holding my little silver ribbon like it was made of diamonds. I ran into his office, beaming, holding it up. He didn't even look away from his case files. What happened? Why weren't you the best? That night, I threw the ribbon in the trash. I felt like I'd brought home failure. From that moment on, everything became a scoreboard. Math tests, piano recitals, science fairs. He'd drive me to every single one in his shiny BMW, spitting out pep talks that sounded more like war briefings. Winners focus on winning. Losers make excuses. When I won, which I did, a lot, he'd finally smile. Sometimes he'd even say, "That's my boy." It felt like oxygen after suffocating. But if I lost, even once, the car ride home would be dead silent. He wouldn't yell, he wouldn't say anything, just stared ahead while I sank deeper and deeper into the passenger seat, wondering what was wrong with me. By the time I hit middle school, I was cheating, not because I couldn't do the work, but because a B felt like death. I started lying about awards, making up certificates. I faked an outstanding science achievement honor by photoshopping a certificate and printing it at the library. I was 14 when I got my first ulcer. It all cracked senior year. There was this writing contest that offered a scholarship to the university my dad had gone to. I didn't enter. I froze just thinking about losing, but I still wanted his approval so badly it hurt. So I went downtown, bought a cheap trophy from this sketchy little shop, had it engraved with first place, writing excellence, and left it on the kitchen counter like I'd forgotten it. When he saw it, he actually hugged me. First hug in probably a year. Now that's my boy. I floated for 3 days. Then the actual contest winner, some kid named Jake from another school, got their picture in the local paper. I waited for the hammer to fall, but my dad never saw it, never read the local section. I carried that lie for months, afraid he'd find out, terrified he wouldn't. College broke me. I tried to follow in his footsteps, pre-law, honors track. During my first major presentation on constitutional law, I had a full-blown panic attack in front of 60 people. Couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. The professor had to call campus security. I dropped out the next semester. Dad called it quitting like a coward. We didn't speak for 2 years. I started working at this dusty little bookstore downtown. It paid barely enough to cover rent, but something about being surrounded by stories, real stories, felt healing. I started writing again, not to win anything, just because it felt good. Words finally felt like mine again. I started therapy. This incredible woman, Dr. Rodriguez, helped me figure out that being ordinary wasn't a death sentence. Success, she said, is being able to sleep at night without hating yourself. It took me 3 years to believe her. Then my dad had a heart attack. He called me from the hospital. First thing out of his mouth, "Are you still wasting your time in that bookstore?" I actually laughed. For the first time in years, I wasn't angry. "Yeah, Dad, but I'm finally breathing." Finally,